Hello and welcome to Board Stupid. My name's Wayne.
And I'm Matt.
And this is a preview.
Not a review.
Not a review.
Preview.
A preview of a pre-production copy of
Neon Hope.
Neon Hope by Hopeful Games. And this is a brand new studio.
Yes.
And a brand new concept.
Yes.
It's not out yet.
No.
Not even on Kickstarter yet.
No. But we're gonna give you a little bit of a little bit of a tester. So you know when next year this game is gonna come out on Kickstarter, if this is for you or not. We think it could be really interesting to show you about these games. But
yes.
Not before you hit the subscribe
button. You got to do the thing.
Yeah, please.
Give us some Neon Hope and subscribe to the channel. So
give me Neon Hope.
Subscribe,
and then we can start.
Let's start the video.
Let's go.
Rolling dice, feeling nice. Cardboard dreams and game schemes. Click subscribe, it's a vibe. Board Stupid's all we need. Board Stupid, game reviews for you and me. Board Stupid, here's what you should play and see.
Okay, let's remark it again. This is a prototype copy of Neon Hope that been sent us from Hopeful Games. Thank you very much for giving us this this little box. So we're not gonna really touch in production. We slightly on the artwork because it's really cool, but again, anything that you see here. And it's not gonna be fine. It's not final.
It's not final.
It's gonna be adjusted. It's gonna be improved and everything. The same thing goes with the rules. The rules that we're playing are the prototype rules. So we're not gonna go too much into details about how the game plays, what you do when net, because anything could change. And the guys promised us that the rules are gonna be on the Kickstarter when this one is gonna come out. So what I want to ask you first, Wayne, is tell everybody a little bit about what this game feels like. What is similar to what? And how does it flow?
If you're a fan of living card games, so such as things like Arkham Horror LCG, or even things like Marvel Champions, or even things like Earthborn Rangers, which people have been raving about recently, then you think you should put this on your radar because it feels like those types of games. So it has a definite adventure element. It is a cooperative game. So and it has a really cool theme.
Yeah, they call it like a mix between solar punk and cyberpunk. Where solar punk, from my understanding, is where is a cyberpunk future where not all hope has died.
Yeah, there's still hope in the future. And that's what this is, hence the game name, Neon Hope. So it has a feeling of those games, and it has this really cool card play. And I think, Matt, that is the main, it is the main engine of the game, as well as the adventuring side of it. And I really like the card play, because unlike something like Arkham Horror LCG, which really digs into the deck construction and then the deck building where you're playing cards, discarding, reshuffling, etc., or like getting cards out your deck, this is you have a fixed hand. So, and that's what's really interesting about this game. You have your hand of 8 cards in a 2-player game. And that represents your stamina.
Yes. So this is something,
really cool.
It's really cool. So basically, you start with those 8 cards. When you take them, it's very much like in Netrunner. Your hands is your life as well. So if you're losing all your cards, you basically out of the game. But so and you basically hand manage those 8 cards.
That's it. It's a hand management game
that you can use to do different actions. For example, you can fight with them. You can investigate. You can try to hack into terminals. Because again, it's cyberpunk, so you need
doing different tasks.
Yeah, think about whatever you can do in a cyberpunk scenario. They're gonna be in the cards. And
social hacking. There's all sorts going on.
And on top of that, the other cards that you're gonna play with are gonna be the location cards, the character cards, the enemy cards, the event cards, the system cards. So each one is gonna be they're quite cool to look at.
Really cool.
And this basically is
flavor text as well.
It's where your characters are gonna move around and interact with.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I love about this sort of system with your hand management system, you'll play your cards. When you run out of cards, you tick this little dial down, and that will tell you how many cards you can redraw.
Yeah.
So you're going to be redrawing slightly less each time, so you can do slightly less over the course of the game.
Yeah.
So if you start doing loads and loads of stuff really often, fine, but you're at risk of potentially passing out, and then the game, then that's it. It's over.
Yeah, and it's kind of as well as the time.
Yes, it's
it's
a
one
timer
of the timers of
one
the
of the
game.
timers of the game.
It's like it reminds me a lot of like the Gloomhaven style.
Yeah,
where
that's right. Yeah.
You play the cards, and eventually you need to lose one card when you rest and you start
very much so.
the cycle.
And you've got these 3 actions that you're doing on your turn as well, so it's quite generous. You always feel you can achieve something.
Yeah.
And there's loads of cool combos that we've discovered, Matt, over
Absolutely,
because
as well, the interaction between the player is really encouraged, and it will help.
buff
For
each
example,
other, which is really cool.
Doing an action will let you get some free buff that you don't have to use on yourself.
You can
use it on your companion or your partner. Again, if you're in the same location, so there is a little bit as well as movement into game, deciding where who goes where, who's doing what and at what time. But we had a real fun. Again, we played the what is like the introduction scenario.
Yes.
We played it now twice, and it's really cool how you interact with the players. They're like, oh, I'm good at fighting. I'm gonna fight this dude, but I need you to hack him so he doesn't punch me back. It's really interesting mechanics in there.
Yeah, and what you actually have is, with the location cards, we'll talk about this a little bit, is that there are multiple copies of the same locations, and when you're drawing and setting up your area, your region to go and explore, it might be slightly different each time you play it.
Yes.
Which is really nice. It'll give you lots of different variety there.
And that's pretty cool. So it adds replayability.
Adds replayability there as well. And as
game.
well, it'll have various pass and fail states during the adventure. So if you do things a certain way, and it will give you choices, like without too many spoilers, at the end of this scenario, we could choose to either defeat some big boss or go find a different way out.
Or trying to run away.
Try and run away, right?
Yeah.
And we decided to do one thing, and it gave us a different ending than if we tried to do something else. And that's cool as well.
Exactly. And the games will, as a choose your own adventure, it will remember what you've done, and those things will have repercussion in the future of the story.
Absolutely.
Now the other very interesting things is the event deck. Of course, it can't be an adventure without an event deck.
Absolutely. You have a whole encounter phase as well, which is really
and that is going to be basically tell you at the end of each round what's going to happen. Sometimes it's going to be not much, like you're gonna lose some points, you're gonna get some stress. That is kind of like the mechanics of the games that let you kind of like lose more cards or trying to stop you from doing stuff. Or they will have like enemy spawning or enemy activating, or some others will just have the surveillance going up. And this is one of the other very interesting mechanics.
So when you get a encounter card, that will give you sort of a surveillance value that needs to go up, or you sometimes get a choice. You can do something or surveillance goes up, right? So you can take some stress or surveillance goes up. There's little thresholds on these cards here, which will, and when the surveillance level hits those thresholds, something will happen.
Is gonna happen.
Typically something bad.
Yeah, it's most of the time something bad. But this again is the other clock of the to the game, because every
there's a fail
16, 24, 32, like when you reach a certain point, that's the end of the game, because the surveillance is so high that that's it.
That's it.
You're burnt. And as well, these triggers, these surveillance cards as well, is gonna give you. They're gonna be different if you choose to play the game in a more relaxed way or in a more hardcore way.
And you get that option in this game. It gives you the chance to play it in like a story way. You just want to explore the story, play with the mechanisms a bit, and not worry necessarily about really struggling through the encounters.
You got a little bit, but it's not that.
Or you have the more stressful way where you can play the challenge mode, which is really fun. So that's going to really start pushing more stress on you. And stress in this game is basically throwing more cards away, which is brutal, because it's going to exhaust your timer much quicker.
Yeah, exactly. And
cool.
the other things that is quite interesting is going to be how you do the action. Again, as we said, each card will let you do a certain type of action.
Yeah.
However,
Investigating, talking to people, hacking, that sort of thing.
However, you will have your own, each character will have its own initial starting bonus for this or that action.
Yeah.
They are divided in 4 categories.
Yeah.
And you will always need to check on the cards of the action that you want to do. What are the requirements? For example, if I want to fight a guy, my cards already have a +3, but the guy's as a 4, I need to beat that 4.
Yeah.
And now you're doing that is not with the dice, but with this matrix.
Yeah, this matrix here, absolutely.
And now, how does this work, Wayne?
This is really interesting, kind of similar to a bag pull that you might recognize from Arkham Horror LCG, where you'll do a test, pull something out of the bag, and then hope that it's not the Cthulhu symbol, because it's always the Cthulhu symbol.
Yeah.
Similar to this game, you're flipping over one of these tokens, and it'll give you a modifier. In this case, +1. We succeeded.
That's very good.
That's
However,
good. It might
could
also
be that you are not very lucky.
It might be a -3.
And you got a -3, and that you fail.
News.
Then you could be very unlucky and pick up
There is a skull somewhere in there. There it is.
Yes, and the skull will let all the enemy activate
as well, and be a -1, and flip another token.
And flip another one. However, the game and the different abilities that the character have will let you do a scan. For example, you can scan. All right, what's this? This is at 0, and this is a -2. You know what? I'm gonna throw out the -2 out of the matrix.
Yeah, which is really
so
really
you
cool.
got that.
Ways to manipulate the matrix in a really interesting way.
And again, you always have three of these tokens
in the
that are
archive.
In the archives or out of the game. So every time that you shuffle off, you don't really know if all the schools are out or all the +3s are out. That makes it quite an interesting way to do the plus and minuses. So you got you say Arkham Horror, you pull out the bag. Basically, again, it's very similar to the deck building that you got in Gloomhaven, where you build your
little success deck.
Yeah, exactly. And then
you pull a card and it'll tell you if it's +3, -1, or whatever, automatic fail or whatever it is.
Again, quite a lot of interesting way of playing in different games. Now, my comment will be, first of all, that this seems to me, but you played way more of Arkham Horror, this seems to be way more accessible than Arkham Horror at this point.
At this point in
with a
production.
more unique theme.
I would 100% agree with you. This is a significantly more accessible game, especially at this point, because Arkham Horror LCG has now evolved to...
How many expansions?
Oh, many.
So I would not know. It's a game that I haven't played that much. I know you played a lot. You got a lot of
cards.
It's just like I'm so scared to get even closer because it's just like there's so much stuff out that I would not know where to start.
This is way different in that way because you have a limited pool of cards. In fact, the deck construction, I believe, and the team, I'm sure, will let me know if I'm wrong. There will be a plan to create your own deck to some extent. I don't know to what extent, but because you only have a hand of 8 cards, I'm pretty sure there'll be a way to evolve your hand. It's not like you have a massive deck, you have to construct a 30-card deck.
No, exactly.
8 cards.
It might be that in the final game there are cards where you can draft and do it, but at the end of the day, you're building a hand, not a deck.
You're building a hand. And I really like that. It's a smaller scope, so it's easier for me to get my head around things like potentially comboing or pushing towards a certain play style, like hacking or fighting or whatever it is.
Exactly.
Which is really, really cool. I absolutely love the accessibility of this. The number of keywords is not too heavy as well. So that's something that Arkham Horror LCG suffers from. It has an entire book of keywords. Literally,
that because the game exploded in the years. While this one, I think that was the idea of the guys that while designing the game was to get that feeling, but making it more,
make it slightly more accessible,
make it more like that you can put it on your table every time you want. As well, like the difficulties, the fact that you can choose different levels,
different intensity level. If you want to play
it could be like, all right, let's just have fun and discover the story with a little bit of thrill.
Yeah,
Am I gonna have success? Am I gonna fail? Who knows? Or if you played this a bunch of time, or you got more,
or you're
like,
super experienced with like LCGs,
you go
then.
on the Arkham way, and that is where every single action actually means very, very much.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. And I think this really has such great promise. I'm really tremendously excited. Matt, I want to ask you about how you feel about the vibe of the game, the theme, and the story of the adventure in the scenario that we played, you know, rushing through the nightclub and things like that. Not too many spoilers, so I don't want to give anything away, but just from what you recall.
Not too many spoilers again, in this prelude mission, you're basically trying to find someone in a nightclub.
A friend of yours, associate.
So you need to go in, start talking with the barman, then
get on the
dance floor, doing a couple of moves, and trying to figure out what's going on. And then you see something moving in the shadow, you try to go after it, you find yourself in a sticky situation, and that is so the story start evolving. I really liked it. It really gave me the Cyberpunk, the video, the 2077, that kind of feeling. And I love the Cyberpunk like generating overall. So with this one was an easy win on me. And the adventure itself it felt very much like a choose your own adventure game. And something that I really like, because I've grown up with with those books, and I want to see more.
And I liked that it was quite snappy as well. You're not reading pages and pages.
No,
of
you're
text.
reading
You're listening to hours of content. The back of a card, I like that snappy couple of paragraphs. Gets you in the zone for what you're doing, gives you the objective, and then off you go and do it.
I think what you said about not having to read or listen to hours or very chunky text. Everything comes on the cards. You read the cards. It's a few sentences.
It's the right side of gameplay versus like passively interacting. It's more gameplay than it is the other way.
Because that's what a lot of like story-driven games fail to do, because it's sometimes it's just like absolutely great stories, absolutely great mechanics, but then you sit down there and listen to someone
listening for an hour.
And this was very, very quick.
This was really not that. This is great. You're really playing the game more than you are worrying about story, but the story is just enough to keep you hooked.
Yeah, exactly. So thumbs up for this review. I think let's go through our final thoughts.
Let's go through the final thoughts and wrap it up. Okay, Matt, just to wrap up with a few final thoughts and a couple more details before we close this out. And just to emphasize, this is a prototype. It is not even on Kickstarter yet. It is coming very soon, and we'll put a QR code somewhere, and certainly then you can scan and go and find out more information about this. So in our prototype, we have 2 characters in the box. 2 completely asymmetric characters.
The characters are actually asymmetric, we forgot to say earlier. And the other, not only the cards are going to be different, you're going to have some unique equipment and items that you can buy with the experience point, that you can add to your hands. They will let you do some special moves.
Really cool combos and stuff. What we discovered, it was really fun doing that.
It is. But again, we only played with 2 characters. There are going to be 4
in the box. I think at least 4 in the box. Potentially
maybe more.
Maybe more.
Maybe some stretch goals. Who knows? We'll ask the guys.
We'll find out. Absolutely.
But that it adds more theme as well into the game, because someone is going to be good at hacking, someone at fighting, and you need to combine your abilities together.
And important to know that you can play this solo, you can play it 2, or indeed up to 4 players.
Yes, and that would be interesting, the 4 players, because it could be quite
based on our
quite a lot.
Based on our playthroughs, man. I don't know how well I would enjoy a 4-player game. It might be amazing. Haven't played it at 4. We only have 2 in this prototype. It'd be interesting to know. But at 2, it felt really good, I think.
Yes, because there's a lot of back and forwards. You're not waiting around doing stuff. And the fact that you can always help your other partner, companion in the adventure, that gives you like that thrill of staying there and what's happening. You're like, and cheering
help me out on the dance floor. Help me out at the bar.
Yeah,
really, really cool. It's a really super exciting project. When we saw this at Spiel, man, Torben basically grabbed us and went, "Do you want to check out this new game?" And we went, "Yes." Sat down, played it, and thought,
"Oh, wow,
really good, really good."
And he had already a little bit of buzz, this game, because we saw when we pushed out our preview from Spiel. It's been very well received,
yeah.
and I do understand why. There is a gap there in the market to have a living card games that is more accessible, with a different theme, and more down on earth. Don't get me wrong, down on earth meaning like that is not gonna be, oh my god, on which box I need to start with, or this game is really difficult. I need a go to uni to just understand all the keywords.
I need a degree.
And stuff
I need
like
a degree in
that,
Arkham Horror. No, 100% with you, and I'm super excited for the final version of this game.
Yep.
I mean, I wish Hopeful Games all the best of luck with this project. It looks like an amazing team behind it, and I couldn't be more excited to play more of it. I mean, we absolutely fell in love with the first adventure that we've played. You've given us a little tease, a little taste, and I need more.
Yeah, and we're gonna definitely follow the project into the future, and let's see what happens to this. But for now, I would say that we definitely recommend to keep an eye on this.
Keep an eye on this game. So that was our preview of the prototype of Neon Hope by Hopeful Games. That one interesting prototype, one interesting game.
It is.
And stay tuned for more news.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep a very close eye, because this is again the prototype. The prototype intro mission was super interesting. All the mechanics, I see they have solid legs.
Yeah, really good legs.
So we will definitely want to play more. Guys, can you give us more? Can you give us the next?
Give us more.
The
Give us
next mission.
bit, yeah. And if you liked this video, you should probably hit the like button if you think we deserve it. And absolutely
smash the subscribe button, please, guys.
Absolutely, give us hope. Not Cyberpunk, give us Solarpunk. Hit the button.
Yes.
Give us
Real hope.
real hope that there is a future for Board Stupid going forward 2025 and beyond. And if you liked that, you should check out the rest of our videos. And we're going to catch you again real soon. Ciao.
What's to be? What's to be? Game reviews for you and me. What's to be? What's to be? Here's what you should play and see.